YouTube, what's good? Welcome to the channel. My name is Leo. My channel is called Creative Minds. Hey, on my channel, I talk about a lot of motivational things, personal things, things that'll uplift the populace. Today, I'm going to talk on acceptance, more so accepting ourselves. And I'm going to speak this from a personal level, so I'm going to throw some things at you that personally happened to me. As a kid, growing up, I really never accepted who I was. I always tried to be someone or somebody that I wasn't. Now, not saying that is stemming from a childhood trauma, because I know a lot of us, when we growing up as kids, we want to be a superhero. You know me, I want to be Superman, want to be the Incredible Hulk, want to be all these different kind of characters. But for me, I didn't accept me for who I was. Yes, I was a kid who was bullied quite a bit. And I was a kid who was never taught how to fight. That just wasn't my mom's thing. My mom was like, nope, you ain't gonna never learn how to fight. We don't want you fighting. We don't want you in jail. And the first time you get in trouble, you going to jail. Which happened to me when I was in the 9th grade, because I got in a fight. I won the fight. Me and the guy got back at it again. He tried to stab me, going back and forth, and my mom called the cops on me. Look, just got to give it to you like that. But for most of my life, I never accepted who I was. I always felt like I was never enough. I always felt like, hey, why can't I be like accepted in everything? Even as growing up as a child, you know, when we playing in the neighborhoods, I was always one of those last ones to get picked at whatever game we was playing, because I was such a small kid back then. You know, and I was real skinny, plus I was real sickly. So even though the neighborhood kids would eventually pick me, I was like a last rounder, like, all right, we gonna pick the kid, which for most part of my life was my driving force, was to be accepted, which pushed me so hard to accomplish a lot of things I accomplished in my life. But the not accepting myself did not end at my childhood. As I would go through high school, I didn't accept who I was. I always wanted to be somebody else. I always wanted to be the guy that all the females wanted, despite, you know, having my puppy loves or girls break my heart. I always felt kind of vengeful for who I was, and always wanting to be somebody else, and why I wasn't somebody else, which even led into my adult life not really accepting who I was. Even though I was in the military, and I was in the military for a great number of years, and I accomplished so much, I still never accepted who I truly was. And by me not accepting who I truly was, never granted me the choice or the option to get to know me. I always tried to be somebody who I wasn't. I always tried to be this man that did so much. So if you walk into a room with me, I'm that guy that was trying to one up you. If you did this, I did 2 more times than that. And I'm saying it here because hopefully this video reached someone who went through what I went through, you know, and it led down an ugly life of not accepting myself and becoming very judgmental of others. But I will speak on judgmental in another video. But in this video of me not accepting my others, or not being in acceptance, led down many ugly roads. Yes, I was a womanizer. I was a guy who, you know, hey, I'm going to have as many women as possible, because one, I was searching for something that was within me, but I didn't see it within me, which was love. So not accepting myself led down many ugly roads. And after my second divorce, I still didn't accept myself until just recently, maybe within this year. I started learning to accept myself. And when I started learning to accept myself for who I truly am, as this human, this avatar, this spiritual being, it was almost like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. When I started accepting that, hey, look, I am different from everybody else. Having gone through those pains, and I'm gonna speak about my spiritual journey in a later video, having gone through a spiritual journey, having to go through an awakening phase, having to go through the whole ego and a dark night of the soul and shadow work, when I started understanding that, hey, you have to accept yourself. Once you accept yourself, then you learn to love yourself. When I started learning to love myself, then I started learning, see, you know what? I am different from everybody. Even though a lot of my friends and loved ones, they kind of like separate themselves, which is all part of the process, I started realizing that, you know, when I accept myself, it was like a new superpower hit me. It was like, you know what? I am limitless. I'm divinely led. And starting to accept myself, I was able to embrace my uniqueness. I was being able to embrace my gifts. I would say to you, once you get into a position of accepting of yourself, you will notice a superpower. It's like an energy hits you, and you start looking at life, you start looking at people, you start looking at a lot of things differently, because then you start understanding that when you accept yourself, you can accept others for just who they are. Even if a person has treated you bad, treated you good, or whatever, you accept them. Because once you accept them, you accept yourself. You accept yourself for all the flaws that you have. You accept them for all the flaws that they have. And like I said, I will do a video later on about being judgmental, because when I didn't accept myself, I was very judgmental of others. I was that guy who was like, well, they're not doing what I'm doing, they're wrong. When we can't change people, that's their choice, it's their course of life. So I leave this video with you today is, one, learn to accept yourself. When you start learning to accept yourself, you learn to start loving yourself. You start seeing and feeling like this superpower just comes over you. You start feeling like you're living a limitless life, because you're going to start seeing yourself as this divine being. You're going to start seeing yourself as a powerful being. You will start seeing yourself like, you know, there's nothing that you can't do when you accept yourself, when you can look at yourself and say, you know what, I love and respect myself exactly as I am. Hey, look, I just want to leave this video with you today. Just toss at you, say, look, any of you that's going through an issue where you feel like you're not accepting yourself, hey, look, tap in, leave a comment, I'll come and I'll answer it. But when you learn to accept yourself, you learn to love yourself, and you will accept others for just who they are, and you won't even stress about trying to change them. Hey, look, thank you for just chiming into the channel. Click like, click share, and I hope to see you in the next one.